MCU. And not just phase 4, but other phases as well. We've kicked off a new saga. The first 11 years of the MCU were called the Infinity Saga, and now we are in a new saga. And these next 10 years are going to be absolutely incredible with the introduction of the Fox characters that Disney now owns, such as the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Doctor Doom, the Silver Surfer, Galactus, and more. And with all these new amazing characters that Disney can now use in the MCU, the question is, when exactly are we going to see them appear? Well, it looks like we could be seeing our first X-Men and Black Widow briefly, but then we could see a full-out reveal of one specific X-Men in Black Panther 2. We've had a lot of leaks about Black Panther 2 recently, one of which is that Doctor Doom is going to be the main villain of the film. And recently in another plot leak, it offers a way that Doctor Doom could be introduced to Black Panther 2 and how another X-Men could be introduced in Black Panther 2 as well. And this actually ties into a theory that I had over a year ago about how they could introduce the X-Men in the MCU, so I'll break this all down in this video. I'm still doing my Xbox One and PS4 giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed with notifications turned on, like this video, and leave a comment down below. So of course, as many people know by now, Charles Murphy has said that Doctor Doom is going to be the main villain of Black Panther 2. This is super exciting, and it kind of makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't introduce Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four, because that's been done before. And it's been done before by Fox, and Marvel is going to want to stay as far away as the Fox versions of the Fantastic Four as possible. And not just Fox's version of the Fantastic Four, but Fox's version of the X-Men as well. That means not introducing Doctor Doom in a Fantastic Four movie and not introducing the X-Men all together in one giant movie. So according to Charles Murphy and some other leaks as well, Doctor Doom is going to be making his MCU debut in Black Panther 2. According to some recent leaks, he is going to be looking for, of course, vibranium. The leak says that he needs vibranium for some very big purpose, and he's going to have a very strong and very similar backstory to Thanos. And that's really good because there's a reason that Thanos is many people's favorite villain. In the MCU, he's not evil just for the sake of being evil. He has a really strong backstory about his planet dying, his people dying, so now he's set off to save the universe. Now, unfortunately, that meant killing half of the universe, but to himself, he was a hero, not a villain. So it looks like Doctor Doom is going to have somewhat of a similar story. And you've heard me say this before, but it's been said by multiple insiders that there are going to be two main villains of the MCU. There's going to be a ground/earth villain, which is going to be Doctor Doom, and then there's going to be a cosmic villain, which is said to be Galactus. So Doctor Doom is supposed to be set up as a villain that's going to be around for the next 10 years. So of course he's going to need a very good and very strong backstory. And as it turns out, there have been little remnants of him in Phase 3. This leak states that it was actually Victor Von Doom who wanted Hank Pym's lab in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Sonny Burch was working for Victor Von Doom the whole entire time. And I'm sure as they reveal these Fox characters, they'll also reveal and try to tie in where they've been this whole entire time during the Infinity Saga. In fact, we know that that's what they're going to be doing with the Eternals. The Eternals are thousands and thousands of years old. And the Eternals are actually supposed to protect Earth and the humans, so a lot of people were wondering where exactly were the Eternals when Thanos came. And Kevin Feige has already confirmed that the Eternals know who the Avengers are, but the Avengers do not know who the Eternals are. So of course in the movie they're going to reveal where exactly the Eternals were when Thanos came, and when Ultron came, and when Loki came with Thanos' army in the first Avengers movie. They'll do this for all of the Fox characters as well. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, everything is connected, so of course they'll reveal where the X-Men were this whole entire time. And that brings us to this plot leak that states that Storm is going to be introduced in Black Panther 2. Now, if you know anything about the relationship between Black Panther and Storm, this makes perfect sense. In the comics, not only have Storm and Black Panther known each other for a very long time, but they were also married for about 5 years. Yes, T'Challa and Ororo were married, and it was an extremely big deal. Black Panther and Storm first met when they were children. Storm's parents were killed in Cairo and she was left alone in the desert. Storm was heading back to Kenya to look for her mother's homeland when she came across Black Panther being kidnapped. Storm had recently developed her weather controlling powers and she used these powers to save Black Panther. The two of them hit it off instantly and remained best friends for a very long time until eventually Black Panther went on to join the Avengers and then Storm went on to join the X-Men. After being separated for a while, T'Challa eventually decided that it was time for him to get married. In Black Panther Volume 4, number 14 and 15, Black Panther proposes to Storm, and eventually after saying no, she says yes. The two of them got married, and their wedding was possibly one of the biggest events of comic book history. It happens in Black Panther Volume 4, number 18, and it takes place during the Civil War ceasefire event. The event was so big that most of the X-Men and most of the Avengers showed up, even though they were at odds over the Superhuman Registration Act. The wedding was so big that the Watcher himself even showed up to witness this event between a powerful mutant and an Avenger and a king. So it was a very big deal, but unfortunately it only lasted about 6 years. In one of the biggest events in Marvel history, the Avengers versus the X-Men, Black Panther and Storm found themselves on opposite sides, obviously Black Panther being an Avenger and Storm being an X-Men. During this event, the Phoenix Force came back to Earth and it possessed many people, including Namor. And Namor led his Atlantean people into battle against Wakanda. The fallout from this event was severely catastrophic. The Avengers were left scattered and the damage done to Wakanda was extremely severe. And Black Panther blamed Storm for siding with the X-Men and not the Avengers and himself. So after the event, he got his marriage annulled. And ever since then, the two of them have not been together. So as you can see, there is a lot of history between Black Panther and Storm in the comics, so it would make sense that they would introduce her in Black Panther 2. Now, of course, they never go the exact same route that they do in the comics in the movies. So they may not get married. After all, at the end of Black Panther, Tchalla was with Nakia. But we didn't see her anywhere in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, but perhaps she'll return in Black Panther 2. But as far as Storm is concerned, she could be with a different tribe. Just like M'Baku has his white gorilla cult, she could be somewhere else in Wakanda. And the reason that she could be brought into Black Panther 2 is because Dr. Doom is such a powerful villain, especially if he gets his hands on some vibranium, which I'm sure he will. I'm sure that's what his mask is going to be made out of. And of course, depending on the route that Marvel goes, there's the possibility that it could get infused with his body. And if that's the case, Wakanda is going to need all the help that it could get, and all tribes are going to have to come together to fight against Dr. Doom. So we could have a situation that is almost exactly like Avengers Infinity War here. T'Challa gets all of the help that he can get to stand up against Thanos and his army. He even goes and asks for the help of M'Baku. And T'Challa's people and M'Baku's people stand against Thanos' army. We could see this happen again, but with Dr. Doom instead of Thanos. Only this time, Black Panther's army and M'Baku's army may not be enough. So what could he do? Well, he could go and seek the help of his childhood friend who he knows has superpowers. Because although they probably won't explore the marriage aspect from the comics and the movies, they'll probably keep the fact that they were good childhood friends the same. And she could also be really good friends with Shuri. There really are a lot of ways to introduce Storm in Black Panther 2, which seems to be the route that they're going to go down. And if this is the case, we are leading up to a major cinematic event in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Avengers versus the X-Men. Now, this is something that is kind of inevitable to happen. Now, it won't happen anytime soon because, of course, first, Marvel has to introduce the X-Men to the MCU. Not to mention, we have to get a new Avengers team. So sadly, it probably won't happen until another 10 years, but it can be set up within these next 10 years. When the X-Men come into the MCU, they may not get along with the Avengers too well. And this is an event that Marvel knows could be absolutely massive, even way bigger than Avengers Endgame. And with Kevin Feige's announcement at San Diego Comic-Con that the X-Men/mutants are coming to the MCU, you know that they are thinking about it. Marvel thinks years and years ahead and ties everything together, and you know that they have to figure out a way to outdo Avengers Endgame since it was such a massive success. Well, an Avengers versus the X-Men movie is certainly a great way to do that. But before that happens, of course, they have to introduce the X-Men in the MCU. Now, if you caught my other video about the Black Widow trailer, it looks like there could be a mutant introduced in Black Widow. There's strong evidence of Ursa Major, a mutant, being in the movie. And if that's the case, Black Widow is going to be the first time that we see an X-Men in the MCU, and that's just next year. Now that'll be just a little bit of a tease. They probably won't use the word mutant, they probably won't use the word X-Men, but Black Panther 2 already has a release date, said to come out in May 2022 in Phase 5. So Black Panther 2 comes out 2 years after Black Widow comes out. That's plenty of time for more mutant Easter eggs to be dropped in the MCU and then the introduction of them with Storm in Black Panther 2. Now, of course, there is obviously the possibility that they could introduce other mutants into the MCU during other times, but Given the history of Storm and Black Panther's relationship in the comics, and given how much of a success Black Panther 1 was, having the first really known main X-Men appear in Black Panther 2 makes perfect sense. There will be a ton of hype around the movie, and it will be a seamless introduction. And although of course this is not officially confirmed yet, it seems like a route that Marvel is likely to go. And if this route ends up being true, Storm and the X-Men will be introduced in Black Panther 2. So things are getting really exciting. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's a good idea to introduce Storm in Black Panther 2? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and also don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on and like the video so you can enter my giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox One or a PS4. The winner gets to choose. Also, don't forget to use code COSMIC at gfuel.com for 30% off G Fuel. Also, click the link in the description down below for your chance to win an Infinity Gauntlet. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.